always 1 hour before the game. It's my only superstitious thing. I always go and get a coffee for me and for Riyad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I always go and get my coffee and Riyad's coffee. So we drink the coffee together 1 hour before the game.
Good morning, City fans. That, of course, was Bernardo Silva on the amazing video where he's walking his dog. I'm so here for dog videos. Good morning, everybody. 12:30 kickoff today against Wolves. And I can tell you that Bernardo Silva will be making a coffee right now because he is in the starting 11 today. The team is arriving. They are in the building. There's Zach Stefan, John Stones. And I can tell you there are 8 changes to the team that got beaten midweek by Leipzig. That man, Raheem Sterling, he's in the starting 11. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give you the full 11 team news in just a second. As I say, 8 changes to the team that was beaten midweek. I am joined in the studio by making his very first appearance is Darius Vassell, and he's back again. We can't get rid of him. It's Nedum and Onuoha. Now, before we chat to them, I'm going to give you that all-important team news. So, you're starting 11 for today. 8 changes to the team that started midweek, and Edison is back in goal. It's Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte and Zinchenko. Then moving up the pitch, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Jack Grealish and Gabriel Jesus. Quick look at the substitutes for you. You'll see Zach Stefan, Walker, Stones, Ake, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Foden and Cole Palmer makes the bench as well. So some big team news there. Also, there's some of the players aiming for some big milestones today as well. As we know, Edison on 99 clean sheets. Will he get his 100th today? We hope so. And Raheem Sterling on 99 Premier League goals. So hopefully he might go and get his 100th goal today. So welcome to absolute speed demons joining me in the studio today. Reunited today. Obviously, they used to play together as well. Darius, a big welcome. Thank you very much. Your first show. Thanks for joining us. Are you excited to be in the studio next to Nedum?
Yeah, always excited to be with Nedum, close to Nedum. Yeah, no, but thank you very much. It's good to be here, good to be back. Looking forward to watching the game. We might have a little race later, I don't know.
No, you're 41, I wouldn't recommend it.
Right, Nedum, let's get into this team news. 8 changes from the team that started midweek. What's your instant impression of the team?
It still looks very strong. You know, we're at a point where they can say that, and the team that comes out is still more than capable of winning any game. I think some of the guys midweek, obviously, they didn't play to their best, and they're obviously disappointed with the result. But, you know, this is a starting 11 you can put out. And when you look at the bench as well, the depth is really there. I think that's key when you're heading into this sort of month of December where there are so many matches because, you know, for some people, this is the most important part of the year.
Yeah, incredibly strong bench there. Edison comes back in goal. I thought Zach Stefan had a great game midweek. If we're looking at defence there is a few changes, Darius. We've got João Cancelo coming back, Diaz, Laporte and Zinchenko making up the back four. What do you think of our back four? Have you enjoyed watching them this season? What's your opinion?
Varied. Obviously, it changes every now and again. That does look like a strong team. I was looking at the subs bench as well. If you put those teams against each other, I don't know which one would win. So you look at the subs bench, there's a lot of quality there, but I think that solid back four, I think the manager wants to go back to the running order and get the points on the board and start climbing up this Premiership table and making sure we're going to win it. So that's as strong as I've seen. And they've got strong players to come in if there's any problems.
Tell us what you think of the team, by the way. The WhatsApp number is on screen now. We'd love your opinion. What do you make? Are you happy? What changes would you like to see? Just tell us. We love your thoughts and opinions. And also, of course, you can ask the lads any question that you want about football, about Christmas, about their personal lives. I don't know if they'll answer them, but ask them. Go for it. Anything you want to ask them. Right, Nedum, looking forward there.
Yes.
Bernardo Silva obviously didn't play midweek, back in the team today. How important is he to have in this starting 11?
I think, you know, for the quality he has is one thing. To have that quality and to have the confidence and the sort of momentum that he has is another. I think he's got 7 goals in the league this year, out of 14 games for a midfielder. That's very spicy, to say the very least. So it's great to have him back and to have that sort of relationship again in there with Rodri, with Gundogan, because I think they've played really well together. But then knowing that you can also change it with the people on the bench as well is massive. But I always felt as a player, when you're feeling confident, you just want to be out there. And you can see as a player yourself, when you see players that are very confident around you, it gives you so much confidence yourself, because they're going to do something. Bernardo's been doing it for the last few months. He just keeps doing it, like out of nowhere. Who's going to score? Bernardo's done it. Bernardo's done it. So I think to have somebody like that in the team, probably one of the form players in the Premier League, it's a huge bonus.
Yeah, one of the best players in the world, fighting alongside Salah, obviously, as we keep hearing, for the best player in the league currently as well. And as Nedum said there, Darius, he's in incredible confidence at the minute. We've seen that with some of the strikes that he's done. We've had former players on here saying you only do that when you're oozing with confidence. Would you agree with that? And can you remember from your own personal experience just being so confident that you will take these shots?
Yes, certainly. Obviously, the way the ball's going in the net, he's controlling it. He knows exactly what he's going to do before he does it. He's not lashing at things. There's no sort of nervousness to his finishes. And I echo what Nedum says there. It's the other players that he affects. When you're the other player in the team and you know he's playing, it lifts you as well. You almost, you've got a chance because he's playing. You know that he's on top form, and it frees you up a little bit. So certainly having him in the team is going to lift everybody else and the quality anyway. So it can only mean good things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nedum, was that you when Darius was playing? You were lifted and you felt better?
Well, to be honest, let me be clear about this and make it more broad. As a defender, if my attackers were playing well, I knew my game would be easier, because firstly they'll be scoring goals and secondly they'll be defending from the front. And I think, it sounds dumb because I think, back four, come on, let's unite together. We could be irrelevant if people further up the field are playing exceptionally well, and I'm happy to say that. And if someone like Bernardo Silva, defensively he's great, but all the positive impact he's having in the other side of the game, it's incredible. Like, considering at the end of last season he wasn't really part of the plans, and you started hearing rumours he was leaving and so on. Before you know it, this year started, and he's immediately back to being pretty much everyone's favourite player again.
Have you watched the dog walking video? I need to encourage you to.
Okay, so I know this is a live show, and I don't want anyone to get at me. I'm not really a dog guy.
What?
I'm a Bernardo Silva guy, but I'm not really a dog guy.
Cats?
No.
You just don't like animals.
Essentially.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry. But I love Bernardo Silva, and that's the most important thing. That's what unites us all. That's what unites us all. Not some of us, that's what unites us all, okay? So I've not watched it yet, but I've heard it's very good, and maybe someone's going to force me to sit down, then I'll watch a dog video, yeah.
We're going to refuse Nedum watching the game today until he has watched the dog walking video. Outside of the dog, he just looks so happy in it. He looks so comfortable and so confident, and obviously that's what we want to see from him. If we're looking forward into the front three, Sterling, Jesus, Grealish. Darius, I'm going to ask you the lovely question that everyone gets asked. Where are they going to be playing today? Have your guess.
My guess is Jesus on the right coming in. He's found a new lease of life. So much out there on the width. He played the majority of his games down the middle, didn't he? And as a good quality player as he is, he seems to do a little bit better when he's coming in off the flanks. I think Grealish he'll drift either side, probably start left coming in onto his right foot. But the way that City play, they'll all end up in different positions at different times. Certainly if they're breaking as well. But again, quality front three. You got Sterling there as well. It's scary, so I can't wait till the game starts.
Yeah, we often say that, don't we, Nedum? We try and work out where they're going to play, and then we just end up saying that the three of them could be interchanging throughout the game. Yeah,
that's exactly right. It is what it is, and that's a positive thing. I think when you have people who essentially can only do one thing all the time, like go down the line, get a crossing or whatever, it makes you a bit one-dimensional, and people can learn to deal with that. But I think if you're a back line coming up to play against City, you see the faces, but you don't know which one of those you'll be dealing with at any particular point. And with the sort of footballing IQ that they have, with the people supporting cast behind them, usually makes for a very long 90 minutes.
As a defender, how would you prepare for that? How do you imagine that Wolves are prepared today, not knowing who's going to be playing up front, not knowing what side they're going to play, or knowing they're going to interchange?
I think for a team like Wolves, they're defensively very strong. I think they've got the fourth best defensive record in the league so far this year, and that hasn't necessarily been down to solely honing in on individuals in any particular side. It's about the way the defenders are collective. So I'm imagining today, whoever plays up top for City might end up with the fewest touches of anybody on the field, because they're going to be from the front making sure that they control where City pass the ball. Don't let them go through midfield. Don't let them get it to their strikers. So even though, you could have that one-on-one battle with somebody, it's probably going to happen a lot less than, say, in other sides. So I think, as I say, you can prepare as an individual for what somebody's tendencies are, But, the strength of them, the strength of many other teams is the fact they do it as a collective. So I think that's probably going to be the bigger thing, as opposed to knowing that, say, maybe Grealish prefers to come inside it instead of down the line and stuff like that.
Yeah, lovely, gents. Thank you so much. Darius, of course, we know that you're a youth coach now at Wolves,
Right,
so
yeah.
we'll have a really good chat about the Wolves team very soon as well. Now, we've got a new presenter joining us today on Matchday Live, and what a way to introduce her, as she is pitchside with Sean Goater.
Okay, so we are here pitchside. I'm with City legend Sean Goater. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Looking forward to today. Weather's great as well, so I'm really excited.
I was saying this, we got lucky. It's not windy, there's no rain. It's a bit chilly, but it's Manchester.
I mean, listen, these are great conditions. I mean, the sprinklers will come on because they want the pitch to be nice and slick, so the boys can move the ball nice and quick. But it is, temperature-wise, we look like we're all padded up, but it's actually a really good day for football.
Definitely. So we've just had the team lineup announced. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, strong as always. I mean, we've got Addison and Girl, who I believe if he keeps a clean sheet, it'll be his 100th in the Premier League. Absolutely amazing. We also got Raheem Sterling. I think if he scores today, he gets his 100th Premier League goal. So, I'm going to go for the forward. I'm going to back the forward here. Come on, Raheem, get that. And I'm hoping also Addison gets that clean sheet. But really looking forward to the guys. I'm sure they'll look to just continue what they've been doing in the Premier League.
Obviously, 5 wins in a row. Could it be a 6th?
Yeah, it's very likely. It's very likely. I think, the form Bernardo Silva is in, the team are in, in the league. I think we're really looking forward to this. And I'm always trying to guess, who is he going to play up the middle, And I have to say, I've always been getting it wrong. So we've got Sterling, we've got Jesus, and we've got Grealish. And for some reason, I have a sneaky feeling that I think Raheem will be out wide. Whether it's on the left or the right, I think he'll be out wide. So I think it's between Grealish and Jesus up the middle. Try to give myself as many chances as possible there, to get it right. Yeah.
Who is going to be your standout player for the game?
Well, it has to be Bernardo Silva. The form that Bernardo Silva is in, his work rate is interesting because look at City Plus and you see things like how he says there's one little superstition he has, and that's getting a coffee for him and Mahrez. So an hour before
his tradition,
kickoff,
his superstition.
Yeah, so he'll be getting himself that coffee.
He's probably done it a while ago.
Yeah, come to think of it, don't think I had any superstitions like that. But Mahrez is on field winner. Mahrez is like, get my coffee, mate, get it started.
What we're thinking of his dog named after John Stones as well.
I know, I think that's brilliant. It just shows you that the relationship between players, that he's got this lovely dog and he's named it after John Stones. Some of it's a bit of banter, but at the same time, that shows you that the relationship that the players have.
Yeah. So let's briefly touch on Wolves, the opponents today. What do you think they're going to bring to the table?
Yeah, well, they're hit and miss. But one thing, they took Liverpool, right to the end for Liverpool to win it. So they'll come with that sort of confidence that why can't we sort of do the same? Why can't we not take City to the end? Wolves are a team that really get up playing against us. Yes, different manager, but they really get up against us. So I think it's about when we play at Manchester United, Pep Guardiola used the term put the ball in the freezer, basically not allow the opposition to have the ball. And I think I think tactically that'll be some of that. That'll be what we look to do, because we know that Wolves will look to break, play us on the counter attack, and it's important that we put the ball in the freezer for them, as in they don't get to see.
So finally, score prediction. What are you predicting today?
Yes, well, I'm going to go for both. I'm going to go for a 3-0, and that means that I'm putting Sterling to get me a goal, and I'm going for the clean sheet as well. Why not? Come on, boys.
We need all the achievements today. 3 points, Sterling gets his 100th goal, and Edison gets his 100th clean sheet. Good day all around.
Good day all around. Shared by the group. Lovely.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, a big thank you to Els there. Welcome to the team. Loving more girls on the team, Els. Big welcome. And Sean Goater today is on our commentary. He's going to be alongside Ali Mann. And you know that you get your commentary on the City app. If you've not got that downloaded, download it now. If you're watching on the app, well done. You're in the right place to get the commentary for the 12:30 kickoff. Ali Mann and Sean Goater. Now, Darius, Nedum's going to roll his eyes in a minute. But I know him by now.
Hold on. What do you mean by that?
For you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go. He knows that I love a stat. But Nedum, I think you're going to love this stat today.
Go on then. Let's share it. Share it with us.
Out of all of the fixtures that have ever been played since 1888, that have been played at least 60 times, I'm just going to throw that in there. Any fixture ever, City versus Wolves has the highest goals.
Really?
Of any fixture ever.
Right, okay.
437 goals in 114 meetings is 3.83 goals per game.
The highest ever for any team, or just
any team, any fixture that's ever been played in English football since 1888. City versus Wolves has the most goals. Nedum, are you having it?
Do you know, I would be having it, but this is a different Wolves side now. They don't concede, don't score a lot of goals. But yeah, some of that would be nice. It would be very, very nice. But hopefully just the 3 come for City, but we shall see, yeah?
I do love a stat on this show. I love all stats except for Darius expected goals. Nedum likes that stat. I hate that stat. Are you having that stat?
Oh. Is it because you don't understand how it works?
It's not that. I think that people trying to calculate what strikers do is...
It doesn't have to be a striker, though. That's the thing, Darius. It doesn't have to be a striker.
Well, this is a striker's response to it.
Okay.
So people trying to calculate what strikers do disappoints me because they just can't do it themselves. So they're trying to work out ways.
We want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah. They're trying to work out ways.
That was a sign. The fact he didn't raise his mic to give that point means it was a bad point.
That's how I feel, yeah. I don't like it.
I get what people are saying. Like, it's very, very techy.
I think we as strikers know more about that.
It's not based on, like, position in relation to the goal and stuff like that.
Based on a lot of things.
Yeah. So that's based on history.
And striker needs the ability to put the ball in the back of the net as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course. The
service into him.
Into account. This isn't a particular place, Darius. That's the thing.
The pitch that you're playing on, the goalkeeper that you're trying to score against,
it's still in a certain place, and strikers attackers of the highest standard.
I'll agree with it when a striker who can score goals comes up with the algorithm.
I think there have been players who've got a set amount of XG which have scored that amount of goals in a season. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. But if a top player, one of the top strikers, comes out with an algorithm to calculate goals, I'll read it and look into it.
All right, cool.
But the person who came into it's probably got a white coat on somewhere. And
don't be celebrating you now. You're enjoying
this. I'm so happy right now. Darius, thank you so much. I've been saying this for ages, but I do not have the technical or past ability that you have to argue with him.
You agree with my point then?
I fully and 100% agree with you.
That's fine. That's fine. You guys do whatever you want to do, but you will see XG in this game.
Okay, so according then to the XG, obviously we know that Wolves don't score a lot of goals. They don't concede a lot of goals. In fact, they've scored the second least amount of goals after Norwich in the league. They've conceded the 4th least as well, which I'm presuming is after City, Liverpool and Chelsea. So your XG today, what's it telling us, Nedum?
I'm trying to sell this game whilst also saying it's not expected to be a lot of goals in it. But it's one of those things. I think the best possible scenario for this game would be to see City score first, because that will make Wolves become more sort of attacking at some point in the game. I think if Wolves score first, given the fact they don't really concede a ton of goals, I think they'll be happy with that one. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But the importance of the first goal is very, very big today. And hopefully, City can get it, and it'll make for a more exciting game. Then hopefully still lead to playing into City's hands, because if Wolves open up, I think that plays into City's hands even more. So
we do have the Wolves team news for today as well. I'm going to look at Darius when it comes up, given your day job as well.
The enemy.
We'll come to the Wolves. We do have it. We'll come to the Wolves team news very, very shortly. Now, immediately though, when I'm looking for the Wolves team news on a day like today, Darius, I immediately go to Traore.
So do I, yeah.
The man, when he plays City, is like Lionel Messi. Why does he love playing against us so much?
I think the way that most teams set up to play against City is to defend and not concede. And obviously, when they win ball back, it's going to be in deeper areas. And for somebody like Traore, if he gets the ball back in a deeper area, he's got one thing on his mind: it's to get the ball up to the other end of the pitch. And that means running with it, opening his legs out, and running at the space. And that's his strength. He gets the opportunity to do that a lot of the time against City, who've put a lot of men forward. It allows other teams to counter, and that is his game. So he'll get the opportunity to do that a couple of times today. Just needs to be clinical if he gets into that final third and gets a shooting opportunity. Yeah,
because we do know that Traore starts today. Now, Nedum, he scored 7 goals in the Premier League last year. 3 of them were against City. 3 of them. How are we going to stop him today? Because, like I said, he seems to play the best games of his life when he plays us.
So I was at the game last season here, when I forget what score it was, but City did win. And one thing which I was impressed by was the fact that every time there was a chance for Wolves to go on the break, City would throw 2-3 players into said player to force them to be able to go backwards, or to maybe have a clever foul in there or something like that. And I think they understand that if you play into his hands and, you can get the ball to his feet and, start the attack for them, then it's a huge strength for them. So I think it's about sort of limiting the service to him and at those key times as well. I think if you can have lots of bodies around as he gets the ball, then that's great. But as I say, remember watching last year, if there was a threat the ball's going to get played to him, they'd go really, really big on the midfielder, that would...
It's these goals now that you're talking about.
Well, this is from a few years ago, and this is, this was a shame. At this point, City were stretched as well, because Fernandinho was playing centre-back, and I think for as good as he is, he's far better playing in midfield. But yeah, Wolves have had this thing. I think their style of play across the years in the Premier League has suited playing against teams like City, because they can soak up pressure, but then they have one or two players who can get hold of the ball and just take it upfield and offer some level of threat for them. I think some sides they don't have that, so when they just soak things up, they're hoping and praying that it's a 0-0. But then, like I say, I'm looking at stuff here, and I think the fact that you can have a game that's so open, it plays right into their hands. Whereas I think for City overall in recent times, they've been so good in terms of just making the game tighter, not allowing quick breaks, not having tons of turnovers. And, you've as good as Fernandinho is, he's not as quick as Traore, so to have them a 1-1 and a halfway line. Am I catching him? I don't think I'd let him be free, to be honest. Yeah. But then again, I can't really say much, yeah, but it's one of those things, in hindsight, you can look at goals and say, this is what we should have done. But in the moment, that felt like the right thing to do, but unfortunately played into their hands. And for City, I think that's the whole key about being clinical. Because if you're not, the longer you go in the game, you start taking more chances. For Wolves, they'll be thinking, well, we're just going to go and try and spin the ball here to our main guy, and they'll do something like this.
So Wolves have only scored 12 goals this season, only one in the last 5, Darius. Obviously, we're seeing these goals here that were scored against us. But in terms of this season, what's going on with the attack? Why are they not scoring as frequently this year?
Yeah, it is. It's a disappointing return. Obviously, it's something they're going to look to improve. I think with the new manager coming in, I think the focus, and rightfully so, has been on being organised, being set up to not concede, and then obviously building on that. And obviously they're going through that process as it happens now. So you'd like to think now or towards the end of the season those goals start to come, with them building on top of the work that they've been doing all season and pre-season. They've certainly got the players to score goals. Jimenez has come back in after a really bad injury, and he's probably looking to find his feet again as well. Hopefully it will click for them soon. They need to be clinical, and they need to, pay some attention to set pieces and things like that, other avenues to score goals. It's not always going to be those, those nice goals where you're running, the length of the pitch and slotting it in the bottom corner. It's not always like that.
Now, we do have the starting 11 now to tell you today for the Wolves team. You can see them there going out to warm up on the Etihad pitch there. So the starting 11 for Wolves today. In goal is Sarr. Then it's Semedo, Kilman, Cody, Saez, Aït-Nouri, Neves, Dendoncker, Moutinho, Jimenez, and that man, Traore. So, Darius, apart from Traore, and that is there's the starting 11 there for you. Apart from Traore, who else in that Wolves team do we really need to be keeping an eye on today?
It'd be Jimenez, certainly. He's a threat in the air. Best goal scorer that Wolves have currently in terms of ability to finish. And again, he's looking to find his form again. He'll be desperate to score, and what a great place to come and start, opening your account again. So I think he'll be the danger man, certainly off set pieces as well. A game like this, Wolves will be trying to keep it tight, and they need to dominate on set pieces if they want to get ahead.
And then defensively, coming to the defender in the room, Nedum.
Hey, we're both retired, by the way. We don't really play anymore. But I understand what you're saying.
Hey, I've heard about your five-a-side team with Jolien.
Yeah,
but
have you heard about the goals I'm scoring now?
No, I haven't. Are you?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, okay. Usually you guys want to talk about this team, right? In terms of the defence, we do know that Wolves are really solid in defence. What do you make of their defence this season? Who's the standout player for you? Why are they so solid?
Why are they so solid? I think that's a tough one. I've not watched all the games of Wolves, but every time I've watched them, say here, for example, last season, the key one for me is Conor Cody. I remember I was very lucky to be in the stadium when, there weren't any crowds and stuff like that. And I kept hearing his voice. I thought it must be a coach on the sideline, but it was him in the centre of that defence. And he was constantly talking and organising everyone and everything around him. And when you come up against teams like that where, there's not a single second where they're not there's not like the true intent to do things properly. It makes it very, very difficult. So I think he's the key for me. I think that's why he's captain. He's trying to motivate the people around him, making sure everyone's in the right spot, making sure everybody's being competitive. And when you have that sort of somebody driving a team in that position, I think he make a big difference. So I'd say it's probably him, and I think if he's probably the one where if he left that side and somebody came in, I think they'd miss him the most.
I saw a video on the Wolves social accounts of Conor Cody meeting a young fan that had been bullied, and honestly, it made me cry. It was such a wonderful video. He seems like a real great captain and a leader.
Yeah, I've just added on to what Nedum says. The people around him believe in what he says as well, and they trust him. And he certainly is that character, and he's always, performing, acts like that around the club for the youngsters especially. They very much look up to him. So it's no surprising that he's captain. And I think Nedum's right. His ability to organise. I mean, he grew up learning the game as a midfield player. So that's the centre of the pitch, being around it all. And I think putting him in at centre-back with that ability to move the ball around, probably not as quick as the others and things like that, but seeing things before they happen and being able to manoeuvre players in the right positions so that he's in the right position to go and clear things up.
So around about 35 minutes till kick-off today in our 12:30 Premier League game against Wolves. Still lots of time for you to get your questions in that I will give to the gents. I'll do my best to get through as many as I can a little bit later in the show. Also, we do have half-time and full-time as well. Now, another wonderful kind of coincidence between Wolves and City that I just desperately want to talk about with you both is Portugal. How many, well, I know how many, there's absolutely loads of Portuguese players in the Wolves team and in the City team. I mean, 3 of our best players this season are all Portuguese, Nedum.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Do you know what? I generally don't know. For them, from a recruitment standpoint, the people who are bringing the players in, they have this vision that these are the players that we want to bring over here. But in fairness to them, they've been performing. And speaking to one of my old teammates, Adel Tarat, who now plays for Benfica, he said when he was over there, it's like a real eye-opener to him about how serious they are in terms of their development as players in that country. You look at some of the players coming through now, but you're talking about Diaz, you're talking about Cancelo's, you can be talking about a ton more that are young players who represent Portugal to the highest of standards, and they're very serious about their football, and as a consequence, they're very successful around Europe. So I think that has turned into a bit of a hotbed for really good professionals and really good players who can handle the pressures of playing at the highest level. So for City to have had the ones which we've had, incredible. And then for Wolves as well, they've built the team around it. You look at Wolves and they're a significantly established Premier League side with some of the biggest talents in and around Europe. I think they've got a couple on the bench as well. Yeah. And it's impressive. They seem to be building right over in Portugal at the minute. So you can see exactly why they're playing so much in the Premier League and why they're doing so well.
Yeah, in fact, 50% of the current Portugal squad plays in the Premier League. A high proportion of them for Wolves, 8 of them. 8 Portuguese players in the Wolves team, 3 obviously in the City team. But we have Edison as well that came from Benfica as well. Is there a real feeling around Wolves, around the training ground of this Portuguese feeling? Is it kind of spreading out into the rest of the team?
It's been there for a while, obviously for the previous manager as well, who possibly started it off. There's players that haven't been mentioned there that are in the 23s that are yet to come through, so there will be more. They are quality players. It's probably a market that the club are tapping into, separate from the Italies and Spain's, a bit different now, and probably finding hidden gems out there, and there's more to come, as I said. Obviously, with me working in the academy, some come in every now and again, younger, proper young, like 15 and 16, you start to see, okay, these lads, they've got the quality to take it, to the next level in the next coming years. So I think it's something that, Wolves are benefiting from. Obviously, City certainly are, and probably more clubs will do it in the future. Look into that market and look to tap into those great players that they're producing over there now.
Now, a man that we've been mentioning all season long on this show, and I'm quite happy to talk about him. We've talked about him already on this show. Let's just talk about him non-stop. It is Bernardo Silva. Of course, Portuguese Bernardo Silva, been an absolutely incredible signing for City. Another stat for you lads. I know, Nedum, I love them. Of all the players in the history of the league to play more than 100 Premier League games, Bernardo is top of the list of win percentages. 77% of the games Bernardo plays in, we've won.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
That's insane, right? He's number
that's
one.
Outrageous. Yeah, that's absolutely outrageous. But I think it's all part and parcel of just the whole City thing itself. Because say the worst stat for somebody who's playing for City who's played that many games might be about 65% or something, which is still better than 90% of the league in itself. But he has been incredible. Last year, it feels like it's a bit of an aberration, but look at that goal. That's absolutely outrageous. And these finishes, as Darius was saying before, everything's caressed. You know what I mean?
He's not slashing at it at all, is he?
I'm just going to put this into the net for you, and then we can just wheel off and celebrate.
Let's go back and kick off again.
Exactly, yeah. It's just business. When he scores, it's like it's just business. And I'll be honest, like, I was never that guy. If I saw the goal anywhere and I could kick the ball towards it, my leg is going so far back to kick it as hard as physically possible. But I guess that's one of the differences.
Now, not only does he score incredible goals, he does incredible touches and moments. What do you make of this touch in this game, gents? So hold on.
Oh, really?
Leave it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's just immense belief in your own ability. It's almost like there's no fans there and he's just in the garden.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And when you're in that sort of free flow spirit of football, anything's possible. You get to like it in training sometimes, doesn't it, Nedum? You know, we've had those training sessions where just everybody's on form, or certain people are on fire.
Yeah.
He's in that mode now, and as I said, if you're a teammate of his, you just want to get the ball to him straight away.
And just to sort of explain this to people, there are different levels of touch, based on confidence levels.
Okay.
Balls up in the air, Safety one, head it. Next chest, next thigh, next instep. And then people like him and Riyad, just whatever you want. Go on the outside of your foot, your big toe, little toe, whatever. There's no stress. Doesn't matter how high it is. Yeah, I'm just going to control this masterfully. But yeah, I never reached that level like he's just brought there.
No, were you mainly a number one guy?
You did sometimes.
No, in training. But if that, like, for that highlight, the ball's going out towards the touchline. If that touch goes wrong, it's going into about row B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The fans will go, hey.
Exactly. You're missing woo. But for him, like, it was never in doubt. And what a feeling that must be.
And because you've not watched it yet, we're going to show you a little bit of a clip from the walking the dog video, because we know that you're now dying to see it, Nedum.
Here we go.
Because it's Portuguese. Got a great relationship with Riyad. Inês, she also has a great relationship with Riyad's girlfriend.
Yeah. And with João.
With João.
You make a lot of jokes with João.
Yeah, I'm close to a lot of people. When he arrived, people really thought that he was always angry and stuff, but it's just the way he is, and he just pretends he's angry sometimes, so it's fun. I know him very well because I played with him 7 years at Benfica, and but yeah, now I think people are getting used to him and know that it's just having fun. Riyad and Cancelo have a great relationship as well. So the three of us spend a lot of time together also.
But I think Bernardo gets along with everyone.
Is he a joker off the pitch as well?
He's a joker, yeah. At home, with me, with John, with all his friends. He's always happy and funny. Yeah.
It's nice to have fun, right?
Yeah.
How's it make you feel, mate?
The first, like, the 80% of that was incredible, and then it just went a bit weird at the end. But, you know.
Come on, you've seen John the dog. You're not following your dog.
No, I'm not. Genuinely not, no.
My aim now is to turn Nedum into a dog man. So he's talking there about another one of our Portuguese superstars this season. Obviously, it is João Cancelo. I love that he was saying there that people think he's angry, but he's not really. He's been a joy to watch this season, hasn't he, Darius?
He's got an energy about him. When he first came into the club, obviously, you tend to expect him to be quality, but I don't think we could see it straight away, and sometimes it's like that. But he seems to have settled now into a rhythm. He's experimenting, he's trying different things, and some of those things are coming off for him, and he's probably one of the first, choices now on the team sheet, and rightfully so. Great to watch.
If you were forced into labelling him, Nedum, what position would you say that João Cancelo plays?
That's an interesting one, but I think you could sort of level that sort of question about most players in the City team, because they're so fluid in terms of how they play and where they can play. Like, you've got people who play in the front line who can play anywhere across the front line. Some people can play with their back to the goal. Some people can play facing the goal. But with João, obviously he's a defender as such, but he's like one of the best attacking options you can have as well, because he's just so interesting. I think in some ways I like him off the left more than the right, because when he's off the left, he can go down the line and cross with his left foot, but he also comes inside and does some insanity with his right foot. Whereas I think on the other side, he puts some great balls into the box and stuff like that, but it's not quite as wild as, say, in terms of trying to deal with it as him on the left. So I think he's just an exceptional footballer, and he's the type of person where in possession he's a joy to have, because if you give him the ball, as is the case with tons of other players in the City team, you can just make a run, and there's a very, very good chance that the ball will arrive at your feet or at your head, and you'll have no idea how he got there. But the fact is, you know that they can do it. So I think he's just a supreme footballer that's playing in, one of the best sides I've ever seen.
Darius, would you have loved being on the end of some of those assists that João Cancelo puts in?
Definitely looking at those over the past few weeks, yeah. Some great balls in there. He's one of those players where as soon as he receives the ball, if you're a striker or somebody looking to get on the end of the pass, you can go when you want and make the run. Some players, you've got to wait until they've manoeuvred the ball into a favourable position for themselves, maybe their favoured foot. Whereas him, it doesn't matter where the ball is, you make the run, he'll find a way to get it to you. So I think Nedum's right there. It's one of those players there where the ball will end up in front of you, you've got a shot on at goal, all because he's got that vision, the awareness and the ability to pick you out.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Vass, because for the Sterling goal, which came from the outside of the foot cross from him, Sterling just came back on side and then went to make the run. But at the time, it's not like Cancelo looked like he was definitely going to cross the ball into the box, and he was sort of in between his feet. But he understands that if he makes the run, there's a very good chance the ball will come. And then the ball came in with the outside of his foot to finish on the half volley, which again wasn't easy. But it's that level of understanding. He gets the ball. As is, as the case with KDB, Bernardo's, all these guys. If the run is right, there's a good chance the ball's going to come. And with João, doesn't matter whether it's instep, laces outside of his foot, like he finds a way to do it, and it's usually incredible.
Now, another player that started in Portugal is, of course, Ederson. If you haven't seen it yet, get yourselves on to City Plus. There is an incredible 3-part documentary all about the man. You can get the Ederson documentary on City Plus now, but here is a little teaser for you.
Aí a gente ia ter um clássico contra o Sport fora. O Sport estava em primeiro, com 1 ponto de diferença de nós. E um dia antes do clássico, o Júlio César se machucou.
Essa semana do derby foi uma semana muito tensa, digamos.
E nessa altura estávamos a 1 ponto do Sporting e íamos jogar ao Alvalade. E era um jogo fundamental. Penso que se perdêssemos esse jogo, o título podia realmente fugir.
E um dia antes, no treinamento eu me lesionei, uma lesão séria. E no qual eu tentei de todas as maneiras jogar, pela importância do jogo, porque todo jogador ele quer jogar um derby.
Houve esse contratempo, porque estava um guarda-redes com muita experiência a jogar e tivemos que pôr um miúdo, na altura um miúdo, a jogar.
Aí os caras chegou pra mim, sabe que amanhã você vai jogar, né? Eu falei, opa, era a oportunidade que eu queria.
Ederson, um jovem brasileiro de 22 anos que avança para o 11 por via da lesão de última hora de Júlio César.
Nós nunca sabemos quando é que um primeiro jogo, não sabemos quando acontece e não sabemos qual é a reação, mas a probabilidade de correr bem eu entendia que era muita.
So the Ederson documentary available on City Plus now. Now, what a first day for our Els. First she was chatting to Sean Goater. Now we sent her down to meet another 99 legend. Here's Els with Paul Dickoff.
So I'm here with City legend Paul Dickoff. What are we doing here today?
Hopefully eating a little bit of chocolate in the background. But no, Cadbury's have put on this event with the Trussell Trust. And all the Man City fans can come down here, post a chocolate bar away to their loved one. And the fantastic thing about it is every bar that gets posted, Cadbury's and Man City are sending a free one onto the food bank, which is great, especially leading up to Christmas.
Of course. And are you going to send a Secret Santa to anyone?
Yeah, I will do. I was just talking about that there. It's who to send it to, though. Send one to my wife. Our kids will want one, so I might have to send 3 or 4.
Yeah, you don't want to upset anyone. I've already sent 2 off already.
Yeah. Nah, well, the kids can have one, then my wife maybe. I might send one to myself.
Yeah, no, I was going to do that as well. I like the caramel one.
Why don't we send one to each other?
Let's do that. Let's make a pact. So, thoughts ahead of the game today. What do you think the score is going to be?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. The team's in fantastic form at the minute, especially in the Premier League. Wolves have picked up a bit of form recently as well, but look, I've always got my blue tinted glasses on. Manchester City plays the can play, will win the game, stay top of the league.
100%. And any standout players you think today?
Look, Bernardo Silva's been sensational. Everybody's talking about him. The one that really probably doesn't get the credit for me is Rodri. Since he came into the club, especially last season, he's been fantastic. But this season he's took his game to a completely different level. We've got fantastic players in De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Raheem, Phil Foden. You could go on and on and on. But Rodri's the one that just sits in there and sort of puts fires out left, right and centre and lets all these fantastic attacking players do their job.
Yeah, that block against Liverpool for Rodri still sticks in my mind. That was incredible.
Yeah, and he's just taking his game onto a different level, you know, and to think he's still only 24, 25, you know, there's so much more to come from him, but he's up there with the very best at the minute.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Paul. And I hope you have a nice day sending off all the Secret Santas.
Will do. Make sure you send me one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Els and to Paul Dickoff there. Now, you've been sending in absolutely loads of questions to WhatsApp for our guests today. Thank you so much for sending those in. I'm going to try and get through as many as I can, as always. Right, the first question is for Darius. It comes from Michael from Cheadle, and it says, great to see you, Darius. Would love to know what you consider to be your best goal of all time. The scissor kick versus England springs to mind?
I know what it means. Yeah, I do get asked that question quite a bit, so I think he's right. Yeah, it's the overhead kick that I scored on my debut for England. It was a great goal for me, and I think the event of it being my first game as well, you know, obviously added to it. So yeah, he's right there. He's right. He's got that right.
There you go. Well done, Michael from Cheadle. Okay, JC has asked, do you guys think Cancelo will be able to fill the Kyle Walker void defensively tonight? What do you think, Nedum?
I think that's probably Kyle Walker's main strength, although he has a few others as well. So I don't think defensively he will be as strong as him, because that's not his first thought, but I think he is still capable. I think that's one of the things about City, like when Cancelo plays, they're still solid as a unit. So I think it'll be different, but I think he's more than capable in terms of defending, because at the end of the day, it's the full Portuguese international who's playing week in, week out for Man City, and I think if he wasn't able to defend, he probably wouldn't be playing.
We've had a message from Mozam who said, can I have a shout out on my 21st birthday? Supposed to watch the game live, but I'm ill. Oh, Mozam, happy birthday. We're sorry you're ill. Get well soon. Big happy 21st birthday from us all. Now, Josh has asked Darius, do you think Zinchenko is going to be able to handle Traore?
No, not... in a nutshell, not...
Hold on a second.
Hold on, yeah. let me make it right. Not in a 1v1 battle and not in a counter-attack. There's not many that can, but what he will need is the support of his fellow defenders, and he'll need to have his defensive midfielders put on a show today of completely locking it in, and City are good at doing that. They need to make sure Wolves aren't able to break easily, but if they are able to break, there's no defender that keeps with Traore, unfortunately.
Nedum, Josh has asked, what do you think Pep would have said to the team after Tuesday's performance in preparation for today?
I think for these guys, there's a sense of like personal and professional pride that, you know, they didn't play well enough in the midweek. So what the manager said would have just been the icing on the cake, essentially, because they'd know themselves they need to do better. But I think he'd probably think about the bigger picture and the fact that they still qualify top of the group, but just reminded them that, you know, they need to have higher standards, because it wasn't good enough, you know, because they could have, maybe should have, you know, won that game if they would have played closer towards their standards. So I think he would have just said that, but then the fact is, once a game's done, you can't overanalyze it too much, because the next game's just around the corner. I think he would have said the focus is going to be on that, and now we know we have to perform better, because as far as it goes for City, you can never guarantee a result, but through good performances, they tend to get results. So that's essentially just making sure that you have that for the weekend.
Now, I want to give a big shout out to Lulu. Lulu has texted us in. She's inside the stadium. She's waiting for the game to start, watching us. Must be on your phone, Lulu. Well done. Absolute and utter dedication. And you've also sent in a really brilliant question. So, Darius, if you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 players would you want to be stuck with? And Lulu specifically says you've got to give us a reason.
Okay. Number 1, Nedum Onuoha. Cleverest player I've ever met, and he'll work out a way to get us off that island. That's number 1. Number 2, oh God, what a great question this is. It would be one of my ex-teammates at Aston Villa. He's no longer with us no more, but he's J. Lloyd Samuel. He'd be with me just because the banter, keep me laughing, keep me going. And for number 3, I would go with... have to be a goalkeeper, because I'd want to practice one night, yeah. I'll go for some David James or someone, yeah, because I always score loads of goals past him in training. And to keep my confidence up, yeah, we would have a kick about.
David James has been on this show. I think if you've done a show with David James, Nedum, they won't stop talking. You'll never get a word in edgeways, by the way.
He's a little big kid, I know.
No, yeah.
Big kid.
Big thank you for sending all of your questions in. Do keep your WhatsApp questions coming, and I will try and ask more at half-time and at full-time as well. Now, when we get guests in that have played together, we always like to chat about it. About your times together, about any memories that you have. Let's see if we can get any sort of secrets out of the two of you as well. But first of all, we're going to take a little look at this. Darius, this is your first goal that you scored for City.
Oh, sheer class.
Long time ago.
That is sheer class. VAR might rub that off now, though.
What do you remember of this goal?
Yeah, just remember it was my first goal. I got off the score sheet. It was an away game.
Sunderland,
yeah, important game for us. Can't remember if we won this night.
We won, 2-1.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But he got me off the mark, got me going. Through pass by Joe Barton, who did give me a lot of assists. And I remember us playing up front with Andy Cole, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
Which was great for me.
And Nedum, you came off the bench in that game. Do you remember that?
No, absolutely not. No.
Right, in terms of speed, when I heard that you were both on, I immediately thought, wow, those two was fast. Did you ever have a race in training?
Did we?
Just would have been just like football specific stuff. Like,
I want to race. I want, like,
I know what you mean. Like without the ball, like an actual race. We didn't.
Do you know why though? Like, this might sound a little bit out there, but the people who are really fast never ask to race each other. It's the ones who want to be seen as fast who always seek a race, because they feel like they've got the ladder to climb. So want to prove to themselves that they are fast. But the ones who are actually fast, like, no.
And I had a bit. I think at the time I had a bit of a thing around me as one of the quickest players out there. And if I race Nedum and he beat me, then I lose that crown kind of thing. I think I needed to keep it there. But I did fancy myself when I was quite young. I was quite quick deep down. I had that inner confidence.
Yeah, you did.
Who was trying to challenge you then? Who thought they were fast but wasn't?
Well, maybe it's not the but wasn't, but I remember like Mike would be saying at Ishmael Miller's, the people like that. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Just relax.
Funny thing, David James actually challenged me to a race and raced me. And I was a bit sceptical because he's tall, he's got long legs, and he's a bit rangy. And I was thinking, hang on, I might lose this. And I raced him, tore him up completely. So that was fine. Put that one to bed. Never worried about that one again.
He never challenged you in kind of striking, scoring goals or anything.
Definitely not. No, he wouldn't.
Right, we've got a game for you both. I don't know if you've heard about the games we do on this show, Darius. I don't know if you've been warned. Sometimes they're really random. We had Nedum shouting peas and carrots the other day. It went down. It was phenomenal. We're not doing it. Okay. Despite the fact it was hugely popular, we are not doing that today. We're doing a game based on speed. So it's like a higher or lower game. It's based on FIFA, the speeds that players have on FIFA. And we're just going to ask you guys, you're going to play as a team. Let's see if you can, play as teammates, see if you can win.
Yep.
Right. So have a little look at the screen. Now, the first player is Ruben Diaz. We're going to give you that one. So his pace, according to FIFA, 61.
Right.
So higher or lower than Jolien. And remember, whatever you say about him, we're going to show him next time he's on.
This is tricky, because that's one of the things about Diaz on FIFA. Like, he's very good, but his pace rating is particularly low.
What, on Jolien?
No, on Ruben Diaz is on FIFA is particularly low.
Okay. This goes up to 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're guessing whether Jolien's faster.
Jolien should be higher.
Yeah,
should be higher.
Are we okay with that? Higher?
Yeah, it should be higher.
Okay.
Gotta be for me.
It is 76. Very nice. Okay.
Respect
you win
Jules.
it.
We respect you.
That is Jack. Is that?
That's Rodri.
That's Rodri. Yeah, small. It's small in the studio. Forgive me. That's Rodri.
Should be lower.
Lower.
It should be lower.
I'm going lower.
Should be lower.
Yeah. Not a lot, but lower.
Oh, 61, same as
Ruben Diaz. Is this prime Dunny now?
This is the hard one, yeah. Which Dunny is
prime Dunny?
Which one?
I don't know, yeah, prime Dunny.
If this is prime Dunny.
Prime Dunny.
It should be higher. For prime Dunny, it should be higher. Should be about...
He is fairly quick. I just don't know if the game would know.
It should be 70 for Dunny. It should be prime Dunny.
I'm happy with that, yeah. Slightly higher again. Yeah.
74.
I told you, prime Dunny, isn't it?
Nedum, nice. Right. Okay, this is actually João Cancelo this time.
He'll be an 80. He'll be higher. He'll be 80.
He will be. Yeah, modern player, modern technology. He's got
be 80
lighter boots,
like that,
yeah.
Boots. 85.
Oh, this is the
85
one.
The thing is,
Did they know about you?
I was always disrespected on this. They didn't know my history. So it's going to be an interesting one.
A lot of players claim that, don't they?
looking at the way this game's working, I think they're going to notch me down to like an 82 and then Sterling will be like an 87.
Okay.
What
are you going for?
So you think slightly lower? I think you're still in the 80s if you're lower than that.
Yeah,
I think you're still in the 80s.
I think it'll be 80s, but low 80s.
Okay, let's have a look.
What
Attention.
give him?
Never!
Too fast! They did know about you.
Never! You had your agent call us, didn't you, to put that in?
I used to be a track star, you know. Don't know if you know that.
He was always going to be close, that one.
Yeah, that was a trick one.
But are you faster than Raheem?
Nah, he's up there.
Raheem will be like 90 or 80.
Okay. 90s for Raheem? 91, well done. Sean Wright Phillips, another fast one.
So he's going to be late 80s. I don't think they'll give him higher than Raheem, so slightly lower. I'm going.
Slightly lower. Oh, it's higher! You're out! You've lost! You've lost! They're rubbish! Wow.
Right with 92.
Are you surprised at that?
Yeah, very surprised. Low man.
What do you think, Nedum?
Well, the game's broken, isn't it? But it's fine. At least he tried.
So that basically what I'm seeing here is that Sean is faster than Nedum.
On FIFA.
Yeah, on FIFA.
On FIFA.
We've got Sean in on Tuesday. We're definitely showing him.
There's no way he's thinking he's a 92.
That's a great score, 92.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely outrageous. So then Phil must be...
He's got shares in the game, I think.
What's Phil coming in at like 85 or something?
Phil, do you think lower?
Yeah,
late 80s, mid 80s.
84 for our Phil. Right, here we go, Darius. Are you faster than Phil Foden?
Yeah.
Are you faster than Nedum?
You've got to be higher than that.
Oh yeah, everyone always says to me, I think I've always choose you on the game because the fastest.
I think on FIFA you're a 90.
What number do you think?
Mid 90s, man. Yeah,
mid 90s. Yes, you think you're fastest in the game? Fastest in the game. Okay, let's go.
Mid to late 90s. He was late this hour.
But the question is, are you faster than Bernardo Silva?
Faster than Nedum.
Post ACL, Vassell.
Right, Bernardo Silva.
He's got to be 75 or something. In fact,
I don't know.
I'll guess the number. What do you reckon?
I think 80s. Yeah, 82.
I'm going to say 73.
80. So you only got the one wrong. Well done. That was the Sean Wright Phillips one.
Have you seen Bernardo run away from anyone?
Never. No.
Cool. So it's good to know.
So what we learned there is that Darius is faster than... No, Nedum's faster than Darius, but Sean Wright Phillips is faster than...
By one, Nade. That's because you're a couple of inches taller than me.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
If we set up a race, will you do it with you guys and Sean?
At this moment, I don't think Darius wants that.
I would do it. Yeah.
I don't think you want that.
Yeah. What does the winner get?
What does the winner get? I don't know. What do you want? We can give you a life supply of Cadbury's chocolate.
I just want respect.
Do you know? Sorry, this is what I want. Have we forgotten to talk about one game in particular which you both played in?
No.
Against Manchester United. Oh, we're going to come to that?
No, let's talk about it.
Okay. So Darius' thing is that every time he scored for City, we never lost. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Why have I not raised that?
Yeah, so...
That's the stat, yeah.
Yeah, that's the stat.
It was during Sven's year when we managed to do the double over United. The first half away at Old Trafford, we were 2-0 up. I think Benjani scored and you scored. And myself and Stevie Allen knew that every time you scored, in fact, in your career to that point, we never lost.
Yeah.
So we're walking off the field, sitting in the dressing room, and I'm sitting there, I'm kind of looking at you. Stevie's kind of looking at me and looking at you. He's like, I think we've won this, you know. 2-0 at Old Trafford 45 minutes ago. I think we've done this.
That's the score.
But that was like the ultimate test of your record.
Yeah.
We ended up winning 2-1, doing a double over Man United, you know, as we do. And that was a lot of fun that day.
Were you just like walking in at the dressing room at the end just like that?
No, not at all. It was a great record, but
it's one of those desperate to be broken, isn't it?
It's dying to be broken.
But it didn't.
It didn't, yeah. Not at City anyway, so yeah.
It didn't get broken. Well done. Right. Right, RLs is outside the stadium. She is looking around. She is chatting to some young fans.
Okay, so we're here at City Square. I found some City fans. What are your names?
Well, what did he say again? Sorry.
What are your names?
I'm Hayden.
Hayden.
I'm Louis.
And what are your thoughts ahead of the game? How do you think City are going to do?
We'll get 2-0 up, and then Wolves will get one back, and then we'll score another 2 in the second half.
Yeah, so a win. 4-1, you make 4-1.
I think it's going to be a pretty close game, but I think City are going to
pull through and get the win.
And who are your favourite players for City?
I like Grealish, KDB and Foden.
Good choices.
I fancy Cole Palmer. He's a good player. I think he's got a good future and all that.
Definitely, he's exciting as well. Let's talk Christmas, because you've just seen Santa Claus up there. What do you want for Christmas?
I like I like a new laptop and like some Man City like jumpers and clothes and stuff like that.
I like that. You're kitted out today, nice and warm. I need one of these scarves. I'm going to go get one afterwards. What about you? What do you want for Christmas?
Well, I just got this for my Christmas one. I'm also getting them Stat Sports because there's this thing called Train Effective where you do scouting and doing trials in there, and I just want to get prepared for that.
Amazing. Well, have you got any last words for City? Words of encouragement ahead of today's game?
Come on, City.
Come on, City. You can beat them.
Come on, City. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, lads, I love that little boy. He's a star of the future, in with all his stats. Now, as you can see, the team are getting ready to come out. We've got kick-off in about 6 minutes. I'm just going to give you a quick recap of the starting 11 for today if you're just joining us. It is Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte and Zinchenko. Gundogan, who's captain today. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Jesus and Grealish. So 8 changes from the team that started on Tuesday night. Also the subs for you, really strong bench today. Stefan, Walker, Stones, Ake, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Foden and Palmer. Now, don't forget, if you haven't downloaded our app yet, you need to do that now. You might be watching us on the app. Welcome. Thank you. Very good. Extra points for you. If you're not, get that downloaded because it's the only place to get your Manchester City commentary for today's game. Alistair Mann is joined by the legend Sean Goater. I love Alistair Mann, but Sean Goater's commentary may even be better. Love Sean Goater, so listen to that. Right, gents, the teams are coming out. Wolves are out. City are coming out in a second. Quick final predictions, Nedum.
I'll just take a 1-0. I'll just call it like it is. I'll take a 1-0.
It's hard, but I think City win 3-1. Yep.
Yes.
I think they do, yeah.
We'll take that. Lovely. Right. You can see it behind us. The teams are coming out. We'll see you at half-time for some instant analysis. Enjoy the commentary. Enjoy the game, Blues.